At least I'm glad that I saw some people running out. I don't know if it's because of the mass, but still have a healthy number. I thought by now would have gotten to the point that I was like, see, I can't take any more of this. We'll just leave. But thank you for sticking around. So the example we gave before, we said at 10% interest rate. At the end of the year, this money will become what? 1,001. We are going to now draw the comparison between simple interest and compound interest. Don't worry, we won't stay too long on it. Right? But it's necessary. If we are talking about financial intelligence, you need to understand how compounding works. Let's say at the end of the year, I take out my 100, which is my interest that I earned, the 10% that I earned on the 1,000 naira. Thank God for this 100. That means I'm left with what? 1,000 still. I spend this 100 or I direct it somewhere else or I dash somebody or something. Now, at the end of the year, I still don't want to use the 1,000. So I put it back again in an investment that gives me 10% again. I go through this cycle again for the second time. Let me call it year 2. Year 2, I go through the cycle and I come out with 1,100 again. Are we together? And again, and again, and again. Right? Let me do that for 3 years. At the end of each year, I'm removing the 100 that is coming on it by interest. Right? So I'm left with 1,001 in that investment. The comparison I want to draw is if you leave the 100 in the investment when you roll it over, so to speak, that is when you take it through the cycle again, you can already see that it's going to grow at a faster rate. That's what they mean by the compounding effect. The compounding effect is talking about not just your initial money, which was the principal that is earning the interest. The money that principal gave birth to via interest has now joined the principal to now be the principal for the next period. Did I make sense just now? It's a very, very simple concept. Pardon the use of words. It's a very simple concept, but many people don't understand the power within it. When you leave interest to also earn that rate over and over and over and over again, small money can really grow into something substantial when you take advantage of the compounding effect. I won't go too deep into it, but you understand the concept. Okay? All right, we can start talking about risk versus reward. These are the slides. This is the session. These are the things that we gathered here to talk about. You can ask questions at any time. We'll address them. It's supposed to be a discussion, really. But please just make sure you learn one or two before we end the session, right? Now I'll throw it open to you again. What do you understand by the term risk versus reward? Okay, let's not waste time on that one, right? You know how they normally say nothing ventured, nothing gained. There's a funny way that I actually internalized the idea of risk versus reward. You won't believe it's from Nollywood movies from back in the day. All those home videos. Specifically the ones where they would do ritual money. Blood money. Funny enough, that stuff taught me something. Fine, I don't want to do blood money to make money. But I understood a concept that you have to sacrifice something to get what you want. I won't even say money now. I'll say it again. You have to sacrifice something. It was a running theme that time. There's no ritual money movie then that won't say, okay, if it's not your mother, it's your. In fact, some of them will even give you blank check. Anybody you love. You get. I think when that one was too intense, over the years, they started changing it to like, you can just bring anybody off the street. But no, the old school ones, the ones where is that person that you love the most they are going to bring. But the idea I got from that is that you have to sacrifice something to get what you want. It doesn't have to be as drastic as sacrificing the one you love. But you know the funny thing? Would you equate sacrificing the one you love and sacrificing time with the one you love? We won't go into that right now. So the idea is To get the reward, US, I'm talking about Nigeria what? Or risk. Any country. The higher the risk you take on, get the reward. US, I'm talking about Nigeria. The reward that's or any country attached to that risk. The higher the risk you, and vice versa. The higher the reward that you want take on, get the reward. US, I'm talking about Nigeria. The reward that's or any country attached to that risk. The higher the risk you, and vice versa. The higher the reward. What's risk? Risk is what introduces the concept of uncertainty that we mentioned earlier, that Bashola mentioned earlier. Risk pretty much is uncertainty. The uncertainty that if I start now, I will get to that door in one piece. That's a risk that I'm taking by going for that goal that I want to get to the door. We all take risks. You coming here, was you taking a risk? You coming here today, living the comfort of your house. Mathematicians will speak in terms of probability. The probability of something bad happening to you if you sat down at home all throughout today is lower than the fact that you now stepped out into the road, whether you got into a car or a bus, or you even strolled here, you took on the risk of coming out here. Because there are higher probabilities of something bad happening to you. But some would argue that it's not just something bad. There's a high probability of anything happening to you, even if it is good, when you actually come out. So risk is not even just talking about a bad thing. Hence, the idea of reward. The good thing that you want to come out of you taking a risk is the reward that you are aiming for. But the higher the risk you take, the higher the possible reward you are going to get. But you know what that means? When you take a higher risk, then you stand to lose more if the risk you took goes bad. I'll say that again. When you take a higher risk, you stand to lose more if the risk actually goes bad. But you are brave, right? You are risk tolerant. That's a term that you are risk seeking even. You want to take on the risk because that reward has to be high. You get, go big or go home. All right. You will see, I don't know if you can actually, this stuff is not projecting this very well, but there's a chart right there that gives you an idea of investment securities and where they are generally placed in terms of their risk versus reward. We mentioned something as risk-free earlier. What was that? To the government securities. You see that on this chart is right at the bottom of the chart. In other words, there's very little risk that you need to take. Like I said, in textbooks, finance textbooks, they'll say it's risk-free. Very little risk. But you can see that the reward is also very little. As you go further along that line, that slope, you are going to certificates of deposit. What does that mean? We're talking about fixed deposit in bank. It's a bit higher risk. The bank can fold with your money. And you now start looking for NDIC to give you a very small fraction of it as compensation. But the reward, the risk of that happening is very low. What's the risk of Zenith Bank going up in flames right now? It's low, right? What's the risk of GT saying, okay, you know what, today, just because of, I don't know what, one thing that happened today, we're not doing business again, and your money is gone. It's low. It can happen. Yeah, but even those ones took time, and they still swallowed them last. So the money was even still protected, right? Are we together? It's possible it can happen. A bank can fold up. Access Bank can swallow up Intercontinental Bank. But funny enough, their funds were still protected, so the customers still had their money. But something can happen that you even have access to your money again. It's possible. But it is still a low probability. That's why it's still somehow low on the chart. As you go higher, you are going to high dividend stocks. Now you're entering the stock market. There's higher risk. Stock markets, you can put money and all the money will just disappear because of a movement in the price. As you go higher, you're going to blue chip stocks. You get REITs, that's real estate investment trusts. Are we together? You are seeing that as you go further along that line, you're going to more risky items. But as they are getting more risky, what is happening again? The possible reward you can get from it, the returns you get on real estate now. Somebody said that Nigeria's real estate bubble, for some reason, is not busting. House prices just always go up. They never come down. They are even bold enough to advertise it to you like, see, better buy at 50 million now because next week is going to 60 million. And you wonder, how are they determining these prices? But on the other hand, if something is increasing like that and it is promising that kind of high reward if you buy into it, then where is the risk coming from? We all know. That's when you go and buy the house. Omonile will come and be like, you have not bought anything. I've heard of people having to start to build when they buy land finish. Why? Because the person that sold them the land, not just a bystander, the person who sold you land said, if you don't start building, this land is going to be resold to somebody else. The person that sold you land and gave you receipt is giving you advice. Better build now, or else when next you come here, the land will not be yours again. There's high risk in real estate. Anything can happen. If you don't even do your findings well, you can find out that what you bought is actually under government acquisition. There are many things that can go wrong. You see that as we are going up this slope, we are getting into areas of higher risk, higher return, higher possible return, or higher risk. Okay? Then we move into forex trading, high risk. IPOs, initial public offer. You're not even sure what the company is going to be doing, but anyhow, they are selling stocks. There was something that happened that 2004 side. IPOs were everywhere. Everybody was just selling shares. People didn't even know the name of companies and they were filling forms and buying shares. Last, everything. But emerging markets like venture, right? High yield markets and so on, hedge funds. Crypto is there on the list. See how high it is. You might not be able to see it. Crypto is like the fourth if you're counting from the top. The volatility in the crypto market is a different thing entirely. They are what they normally call Bitcoin millionaires everywhere now. At the same time, when they're talking about Bitcoin millionaires, nobody will tell you about the people that went broke because of Bitcoin. Because the money that the millionaires are saying that, yes, we've made it, it came from somewhere. Some people invested in Bitcoin thinking that, yes, it has been going up, it will continue to go up. And immediately they invested, it started going down. And they are now searching for the bottom. So they are waiting for the bottom so that it can come back again. So the higher the risk you take on, the higher the possible reward, but also the possible loss that you can suffer from taking on that risk. That's just what the idea of risk versus reward means. Okay, let's move on. So now let's start getting personal with it. What are your own investment goals? I'm not going to throw this question out to you because I don't know if you came to this session thinking, okay, yes, I have so and so investment goals. I don't want you to just start thinking off the top of your head right now. But if we are talking about financial intelligence and investing money to get out money, what are the goals? You have to define your goals such that you now start building the strategy of how you get to the goal. I painted the picture of you thinking and caring about your future self. In that particular scenario, your goal would be to make sure that in retirement you are not dependent on anybody else, that the decisions you have made, the investment decisions, are sustaining you. Should you live beyond a particular point that it seems like they were not expecting you to live to 100, now you're 120. What happens at that point? Where will you get money to eat, to feed, to take care of yourself? That could be your investment goal. That now tells you, it gives you an idea of the kind of risks that you should take when preparing for that particular time. Are you seeing how everything connects? I'll say it again. If your goal is to make sure that you are not a financial nuisance when you are past retirement, it is going to dictate the kind of investment decisions you make when you are young. And believe me, not investing at all is also an investment decision. Are we together? Deciding that all the salary that you make now, every month, is for the soft life. Any money where I get, my enjoyment. You understand? God has got me in the future. God I serve. God I serve. He can provide all my needs in the future. Any money where I get. A soft life right now. Salary hasn't dropped. You are searching on Google. Okay, spots in Lagos that I have not yet visited. Okay. See their food in this place. Yeah. Wait, is this shrimp? Should not shrimp be this? Is it what? It would lay. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to indulge, but do you have a strategy? Are you thinking of your future self? And that's just one possible investment goal. How about target savings? You want to have a house, Abby, at some point. You want to save to the point where you can actually have a house. If that's the way you decide to go and buy a house, or maybe even save for a down payment for a mortgage so that you can get your house. What else could you be targeting? School fees for the children. Or more. This time next year, this is what we're going to pay again in school fees. Let me start putting away so and so now at so and so interest rate so that by so and so time, I will have enough for first term school fees. Target savings. If that is what your investment goal is a different set of investment vehicles that are going to be targeting. Remember, I mentioned retirement savings, long term, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years in the future. That's what you're saving towards. You're looking at long term vehicles. You're not thinking about short term cash flow. You take that from your salary as it's coming. Versus school fees for the children next year, the year after. It has to be a short term investment vehicle. Maybe government bonds of 2 years, maybe treasury bills of just a few months, maybe a fixed deposit in a microfinance bank of 3 months. Are you seeing how everything comes together? It starts from what your goals are. Your goal could actually be just that you just have money. And there are some of them here. You just have money that you just don't want to spend. Just excess capital. It's just there. You haven't spent the one from last week. Another one has come in again. It's like football money every week. 200,000 pounds every week. They are here. I know them. I'm seeing them right now. They are looking at me. You see? So the money is just plenty. Even if you wanted to spend everything, it's problem. You get. So you start thinking, okay, you know what? I can't spend all this money now. Let me just keep it somewhere and just make high returns. In fact, I want to retire early. Are you saying that the goals are different? There's the one that knows, see, I know I'm going to work till 65. And I don't want to suffer at that point. That's different. But you know what? I'm making so much money right now. I want to retire at 45. Then after that, at 45, I'm going to the Bahamas. I'm going to be sipping margarita on the beach, watching the sunset on the Pacific Ocean. I don't even know if it's the Pacific Ocean that is at that side, but anyhow, sounds good. You understand? Different investment goals. You can't look at Eshin and be saraying. What is your own situation? What's your own path? What's your own strategy? What do you want to achieve with your own investment? That's what will dictate where you should be putting money and how you should be calculating what you want to earn. Bearing in mind risk versus reward. Bearing in mind the compounding effect. Everything ties together. What other goals? Cash flow and liquidity. Some, you want to put away money that you don't want to spend right now, but you are still concerned about having money available 3 months down the line. This madam is pregnant now with our first child, but she's not going to give birth until 3 months. Ikomo. That Ikomo has to be loud. You get. But okay, so I'm going to put away the money, the excess money I have now. How much do I even need to put away so that in 3 months' time it's going to become this amount? Then we are going to scatter everywhere. Whiskey available in 3 months. Let's take the manager. Those are your investment goals. Sometimes it could be short term. Sometimes it could be thinking about liquidity at different points. So it is no use if you have an event that you have to cater to in 3 months' time and you put your money in a fixed investment of 10 years. 10 years that they tell you that if you want to liquidate before then, they're going to penalize you. You already knew about your cash flow requirements. 1 month later, 2 months later, you pay school fees in 3 months' time. Why are you putting your money in 2-year investment that you can't liquidate? Why are you locking down your money in fixed investments, fixed assets like real estate? That if you now want to sell, it will take you maybe like 2 months to find a buyer. Meanwhile, you need money now. Those investment goals are going to determine where you put your money by way of investment. That's the idea that we're trying to pass. The other one I haven't mentioned, I think, okay, I've not mentioned protection. Protection can be complex in the sense that you don't want your money to just lose value. We've talked about the time value of money. You have this 1,000 naira now, but you don't want to spend it now. At the same time, you don't want to just hold it so that after 1 year, it have lost value. So you want to make sure you put it somewhere. We'll see some of the investment vehicles that we mentioned, like the government bonds. You will notice that the rates on these bonds, they don't actually cover things like inflation. But at least, if you opt for that, your money won't just stay at 0%. Even if it is to reduce the effect of inflation, it will do something. Others will tell you that, okay, I actually have enough that I can build a portfolio. So I'm going to spread my risk. The way I'm taking a portion of my portfolio, I'm going to take high risk here, aiming for high rewards. But a portion I'm going to put in the government bonds that are risk-free. I'm going to balance it, diversify. Make sure that even if this one disappoints me, I still have this one. Are we together? That's you now getting into the realm of building a portfolio, an investment strategy that suits your actual goal. Are we together? Is it making sense? Have I learned something so far? Okay. All right, these are some of the investment instruments that we now want to talk about in greater detail. We've talked a bit about the FGN savings bonds. Let me go right to the next slide. So I'm going to be very practical about this. How do you buy FGN savings bonds? Is there anybody here that has bought FGN savings bonds before? I'll give you a bit of a background. So I might not get the year very right, but sometime in, say, 2016, 2017, the CBN stopped allowing people coming with less than 50 million naira to buy treasury bills. Before then, I think as little as 100,000, you can buy treasury bills, right? Yeah. Then they now created FGN savings bonds. Are we together? FGN savings bonds, they use it to replace the treasury bills for individuals. I say individuals, but pretty much anybody that is coming to invest with less than 50 million naira. So if what you are looking to invest is between, I think, 5,000 and that 50 million is FGN savings bonds that they will tell you to buy. That's what you can buy. Unless you guys now pool your risks together. Big men, bring 10 million, 100 million, now go and buy treasury bills. And even now, I'm not sure if you'll be able to access that. You understand? So the FGN savings bonds, they release them, they issue them every month. Are we together? I'm being very practical. This is information that you're going to get. If you Google, if you bring out your phone right now and you go to dmo.gov.ng, the debt management office is like a department of CBN. Are we together? If you go to that site now, you see all this information that I'm talking about. And that's another thing I want to actually leave with you. Look for the information online. I don't want to go too deep into like how do you spend your time online? Are you always on Facebook? Are you always on Instagram? How many hours do you spend on Instagram? Or do you check for actual information that would help you? I won't say that. I won't even go there because who knows, maybe even on Instagram you find actual information that will help you. But you get the point. This information is available online. I want you to leave here with the mindset that, yes, I can actually tap into information via this access I have to the internet. Are we together? So if you go to dmo.gov.ng, you will even see some of the releases for all the past months. You will see the rates. You will see the way the rates have been moving. So they will issue it. Usually during the first week, I think, of every month. They will state what the rate is for that investment, for that FGN savings bond issue. Usually it is 2 years or 3 years, right? There's one that is for 2 years, there's one that is for 3 years. The way they will pay you your interest is such that they'll pay it quarterly. So let's say the rate is what? For the sake of this discussion, let's say 10%. Usually around that 10%, really. Let's say still 10%. Let's say you come with your 100K, right? And you invest in the 2-year FGN savings bonds. That the coupon, they call it the coupon. is at 10% annual. The way they will calculate it is that 10% of 100K is what? For us answer. 10,000. You divide that 10,000 by 4. Are we together? To know what you'll be collecting every 3 months. Should I go over it again? You divide your 10,000 by 4. 10,000 divided by 4 is, yes, we are there. So 25 is going to be dropping into your account directly. That's if you purchase the FGN savings bonds. Let's say you purchased it in January. Every 3 months, 3 months after January, February, March, April. April, you're going to collect 25. May, June, July, you're going to collect another 25. And so on. For the 2-year one, you're going to collect that 8 times. 4 years each. Then with the final payment of the 25, they will give you your original 100K back. So your final payment is going to be this. I've just described to you exactly how the FGN savings bonds work. Like I said at the beginning, it is not investment advice. You get to now determine what your investment goal is and if this particular vehicle helps you to achieve that. Think about it. You can either do 2 years or 3 years. Okay, do I have cash flows that 25 is going to solve every 3 months? Okay. How about the 2 years one? When it lands at the end of the 2 years, that 102, 500. Does it make sense for me for you to come beam like that? What will I do at that point? Will I reinvest? Or do I have, is that when I plan to have my wedding? You understand? There's 2 years, there's 3 years. Usually the one for 3 years has a slightly higher rate. But like I said, don't take my word for it. You can go to dmo.gov.ng. Let's say it together. dmo.ng. The information is there. Someone was asking me, how did you get this information? In fact, in my own case, because you have to buy it most times through a stockbroker. And there are many brokerage firms. I use Meristem. I also use Chapel Hill, then but you can go to Meristem. You get. Once you open an account with Meristem, they will be sending you the information. So every month when it comes out, even if I've forgotten, I will get a mail from Meristem saying, FGN Savings Bonds is out, is available. This is the information. This is the rates they are offering now. Do you want? So I fill the form, I buy through Meristem if I'm interested. Are we together? That's just one possible investment vehicle. Remember I said that the way this whole idea came about was that people were asking me where they could put. I'm like, are you not aware of this? And I saw that it seems like many of us are not aware that these things are actually available for us. The money will drop into your account automatically. You don't need to call anybody. I'm like, where's my money? That's why I said government, this thing is risk-free. It will drop. They don't need to know you. You don't need to know somebody in government office. Okay, I'll go on. Any questions? Yes. Sorry? Sorry, I can't. Oh, yes, they issue it monthly. Yes. Oh, yes. They'll take your money. Yeah. No, it's like a separate one. It's a separate one. So that first one you did in January will be going according to this trend. The second one will also run according to his own trend. If they collide in terms of the quarterly payments, it's all well and good. You are the one that will now plan those expected payments. Are they in line with your own cash flow requirements? So coupons are usually good for investors that want some kind of cash flow. They don't just want their money to just sit there all through. They want it to be dropping, at least so that they can take care of some other things while they are waiting for the main one to drop at the end of the period. You get. Of course, there are other types of investment that is like lump sum. Once you drop it like this, you wait for the end. They will now drop everything with all the interest, boom, one time. So it goes back to what your investment goals are. Does this pay you? Or I want something that will keep all the money, get compounded for me well. Then at the end of the period, they should not give it to me. All right. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. You mentioned a stockbroker right now. You said Meristem something. So using the 100K example now, if I were to invest 100K through the stockbroker and I'm getting 2,005, so does a stockbroker or something, they take from their own percentage? No.
So there's no extra charge to it for this particular instrument, this government savings bond. The way the stockbroker makes their money, I can't tell you right now. On this particular transaction, you get, but there's no extra charge. Your money, the money that you put is the money that will be used to buy the bonds for you. This exact money you're expecting is what will drop for you. And the final one will also drop at the end of the whole period. You get. Hello. All right, thank you. Hello. Sound like a different person. Money is outside. Please try to replicate the positioning of sound. All right. Any question? Okay. Let's move. I think I've mentioned everything about the FGN savings bonds. So if I want to buy FGN savings bond, I know everything I need to know. Can I see your hand? If I'm interested. I'm still getting this vibe of like, you know, the money, what's my FGN? I'm for FGN, the loan. FGN, Yawo, yes, sir.
Right? So it means that even if I have 5,000 naira, I can put it in there. And I can decide to say, okay, this 5,000 naira, I don't want to get the quarterly uh, rebate that comes from it. I just want to put this 5,000 naira. And anytime I have 5,000 naira, I just want to keep putting it there. Let it keep compounding.
I see.
Maybe I don't need it for a cash flow. You call it FGN savings bonds.
Yes.
I just want to, I just want it to be a form of savings for me. I don't want
You
to,
don't want that.
yeah, whatever I'm able to get, I can use to, do all my runnings. But this is a saving. For instance, I'm a 20,000 naira salary earner. I want to pick 5,000 naira every month, drop it there, let it keep compounding. I will manage with my 15,000 naira, right? So it has a period of time that I can compound it for, maybe for 2 years or for 3 years, and it goes like that. And at the end of 2 years, I can get the full money, my capital, and of course the interest that comes with it.
The only issue is that for this particular savings bond, you don't have the choice to say keep my quarterly coupons.
Okay.
They will pay it to you. You cannot decide to invest it somewhere else.
Okay.
But I mean, for the example of 5,000, it's like that's a very small amount. How would I even invest it? But just have that in mind when you are buying savings bonds from the beginning. You will get your interest.
Okay. So it's up to you to
You now
decide if you want
put
to
it somewhere
replug
else.
it. Okay. So I just want
Maybe
that
you want to put it
clarification
somewhere
to
until
just
it's
understand.
empty again, then buy the same vehicle or something.
All right. It's just for us to make it more
Yes.
realistic so
Oh,
people
yes.
understand
Yes.
better.
Any other question before we move on? Okay. Let's move to mutual funds. Mutual funds. And mutual funds, I'm talking about specific uh, funds, gathering of funds from different places that some institutions do will now help you invest them in supposedly low risk investments. It's a bit riskier, of course, than the government bonds. And it has different characteristics, properties, or features also. The mutual funds I'm aware of the one that AXA Mansard does, Stanbic IBTC, ARM, they have one. There are a number of them. What they have in common is that you can get your money anytime. It's like a high interest savings account. Are we together? When I say anytime, I'm talking within 24 hours. Some of the ones I've experienced myself, within hours, they credit you once you want to liquidate any amount of it. They will calculate your interest daily. They will credit it to your account quarterly. With some variations, it depends on the firm you go with. But the idea is that this is a bit more risky than government bonds, but it also gives you a bit higher returns yet than the government bonds. So where government bonds might be saying 10%, if you go to what is on your dashboard for the mutual funds, it might be reading maybe like 12%, 11 point something. Are we together? How will you get these ones? You go to, like I said, AXA Mansard, Stanbic IBTC. Some of them you can open entirely online. For other ones, they will even have you fill a form where they are trying to decipher your investment goal. Remember how I said the investment goal is very, very important. So they have many funds. It's not just one. They could have what they call an equity fund. They could have a dollar fund. They could have different funds with different varying levels of risk for you to take on. So even when you want to open the account, they could actually have you fill a form. What your investment goal is? What do you want to do? Are you risk averse? Are you risk tolerant? What does that mean? Risk averse means you don't want to risk anything. Just give me the lowest risk possible. Give me returns that are okay. Risk tolerance is like, yeah, I'm brave. Yeah, sign me up for high risk investments. Let's see what's up. If I lose that money, don't worry, it's nothing. You get. They want to know what your investment goals are, what kind of investor you are, your investment profile. So you can check out the sites of any one of those firms that we've listed. You can actually even Google and find others. Of course, reputable institutions to keep your risk at a low level. I'll digress a bit and talk about what they call all this.
I want to ask a question.
Yes, please.
This firm you called, are they working? Do they have different? What I mean is, they work as a pension also,
I see.
and I also work. Do they have also functions that
Exactly.
are different from that too?
So AXA Mansard, when you hear AXA Mansard, you're thinking insurance.
Yeah.
I think originally Mansard started as like the insurance arm of GT, right? Before they divested AXA outside. But AXA Mansard has a capital, like an investment arm. So they do insurance, they do pensions, they do investment. You understand? So they have an arm that takes that. Same thing, Stanbic IBTC is the bank. It's like, how is it different from the Stanbic IBTC bank? Yeah, but they have an asset management arm. Same thing, ARM, pensions, insurance, but they also do capital. Are we together? I was going to mention, just briefly, the phenomenon of the likes of MMM things. When talking about making sure that your investment is with reputable brands, it's not as if there's no risk still, but at least you have an idea of like this one is regulated by CBN, they can't run. This one is insured by NDIC. I'll get this back if they fold. You understand? As opposed to one random something fund will just come from nowhere, and you can usually we'll get to the there's a slide that talks about some of the red flags when you're looking for investment opportunities. Are we together? Don't worry, we'll soon round up. Already seen the faces that are going left. All this talk of meeting there's mention million, billion, like 1,000 people low here, or 1,000 for us sometime. We borrow a billion of our powers. Are we together? Okay, let's move on then. Yeah, so these guys, when you invest your money with them, they'll charge an administrative fee. Really, for the most part. Sometimes they spread. What they call a spread is, when you come to them and they tell you are going to give it 12% for your money, and then they actually earn 14% by lending it to other places or investing in other places. The spread is what? 14 minus 2, which is what? 2%. That's their own commission, their own fee for their services. So that's how they make their own money. Like I said, you can liquidate your investments, you can make withdrawals. Most times it's processed within 24 hours, you get your money back. Or maybe just a partial withdrawal, and leave the rest to still be compounded. Alright, so fixed deposits, we know about fixed deposits. You can walk into a bank and invest in fixed deposits. You can do microfinance banks, rent money, and the others. They also have some impressive, I say impressive, relatively, rates that they return on investment, like some rent money. Maybe where you are getting 10% with federal government savings bonds, you can see up to 15% sometimes with microfinance banks. Are we together? Most of the time, they fix it for a period. They try to deter you from withdrawing the money. There's a penalty if you withdraw it before when you agree. Let's say you fix it for a year. And you now want to come and withdraw, they'll charge a penalty, even if they give you your money back. Finance houses. We're also aware of fintech apps. All these are PiggyVest and so on. You can see some people know like, yeah, only be 5 million control because PiggyVest. Safe lock. Anything will they 2K. Wow. Are we together? But you understand the picture now. There are places where you can actually place your money and keep it based on what your investment goals are. And these places are available for us to explore. Let's go to some higher risk investments. What are they? Venture capital. Your cousin wants to start a business. Take this 5 million and let's see what you do with it. Abi? I'm not seeing too many people nodding. So nobody here has given 5 million to a cousin. $1 million. 500K. 100K. Nobody has given money. Bro, you first shaking your matter showing gum. Okay. 20K, nothing. It's alright. So hey, venture capital. You see the reason, you start to understand intuitively why we are saying higher risk. When you give somebody money to go and start a business, you don't know if the business is going to succeed. On the other hand, you don't know if it is going to crash, you don't know if it's going to do well or do bad. The people that gave, what's his name? Zuckerberg money for Facebook. You get, they were not, I'm not sure if they knew where the money would balloon to. The first day they opened trading of the shares, some of them became billionaires instantly. That's the nature of high risk and turn billionaire overnight. Right? Depending on how much you invested, of course. But at the same time, you can lose money in a second. Venture capital. Somebody starts a business, especially in places like Nigeria, where they say what's the ease of doing business. I don't know where we rank on that index now. Not sure. I think they stopped ranking us. There's no point. Are we together? Higher risk, higher possible return. Of course, higher possible loss. Okay? And the money add possible there because I think it's not a complete story when they say higher risk, higher return. Some people still interpret that higher risk, that means higher return. Now that means that we will make higher return. It's not guaranteed. The higher risk means it could go either way. Okay, that's why I say possible. Right? The stock market is there. Is there anybody here that understands how the stock market works? When I say how it works, I know how it works, but to be able to predict it, can anybody here predict the stock market? The price of shares, investor confidence. There are all sorts of models, charts, all sorts of ways to try to see. You see, when you see the chart is going like this, it's like this. The next place is going to go is like this, then it will now go like this. And so, put your money first. You see, it's about to take off. See the pattern. It's about to take off. Put your money. Let's see if it will take off or nosedive. Nobody knows. In fact, if you have too much knowledge of where the stock price is going to go, you'll be suspected of insider trading. Maybe you are part of the company, you're about to announce something that you know is going to sway investor confidence in a particular direction. You now go and first of all go and buy or sell or take a position that will benefit you. Insider trading is criminal. So the risk is right up there. It's high. You can put your money. Somebody else will put money up. Like, I put 100K in the stock. It doubled since last week. I've made 100K extra now. You too, go and put your money. You will now go and put your money. It's when you put your own money. Put it low. It's law. That's the nature of the risk that is involved in things like the stock market. Same thing with cryptocurrency. Right? Personal story with respect to cryptocurrency. Okay. So around 2011 was when I opened my first uh, crypto, what they call it, account on Coinbase. I don't know if you know Coinbase. For those that are into crypto. 2011 was when I first opened it. Before then, I had heard about Bitcoin. Around when I heard about Bitcoin, it was trading for 2,000 naira. I kid you not. One Bitcoin was 2,000 naira when I first heard about it. Here to reading about it. We were like, it's going to go up, it's going to go up. In 2011, I opened an account. I just opened the account, free account. I didn't put money. I didn't buy Bitcoin. Fast forward to 2015, the Bitcoin was trading at, I can't remember the exact amount now, but upwards of like, was going on 10 million. Imagine how I felt. We're not talking about maybe it required me to put 2 million that I didn't have because I didn't have money that time. Right? One was 2,000 naira. I could have found 10k and bought 5. And I won't be working now. You don't understand. I'll share this too. Some of you might have heard the story. Somebody was doing a project. I think it was in Norway. He was doing a project on crypto, on blockchain technology. Right? As part of this project, he bought a couple of bitcoins, I think 10 or 20. Peanuts. Just, he bought it to see how it works, and he kept it in an account. And he finished his project, he graduated from university and moved on with his life. Fast forward years later, he's hearing that that same Bitcoin that he bought at Peanuts was now going on millions of dollars. Sorry, of naira. Because dollars, I think it peaked at about, like, say, let's say $12,000. Are we together? He had now forgotten the password to the account. It's online. It's online. You can check the story. No, he eventually found it. But you can imagine knowing that you have life-changing money somewhere. You understand? As in, that story underscores for me the volatility of the cryptocurrency, what I call it, market. It can just take off and go up like this. There can just be news that comes out that China has adopted it for something, and boom, it starts going up. Another one will come out and say US banks have sanctioned it, and they said and it to go down. They can announce that the Ethereum, because there are many currencies, the Ethereum network is going to be adopted by this popular bank somewhere. It starts going up. You understand? All sorts. Recently, there's the FTX crash, but let's not talk too much about that. The idea is, for cryptocurrency, the risk is on a different level. You could lose your money like that. You could sleep, and when you are going to sleep, you're like, I have $12 million in cryptocurrency. I'm okay. It's going to go up. I'll not be a billionaire in dollars. Then you wake up, and you're not even a thousandaire in naira. That's the nature of risk and reward. The higher the risk, talking about high levels of volatility, anything can happen. Last one here is real estate. We talked about real estate already. So with respect to how you can get into these markets, I mentioned stockbroking firms. You can actually buy stocks on various times. There are even some that allow you to buy stocks now in foreign countries, right? There's a Rise app, there's Trove. Are we together? These things are available for you to dabble into if you have the appetite for the risk that it brings. I'm not sure what the current stance of CBN is on crypto. I know they've always been against it. They're flagging accounts of anybody that they see that they just see anything that has to do with crypto, they'll block that account. So do your research. Decide what your investment goals are. Decide what vehicles you want to use to reach those goals. Let me speed up so we can round up and probably take questions. I said I did a slide on red flags. Can you all see the screen? Now, what do I mean by red flags? what are the things that when you are looking for where to invest in, let's say you've already determined your investment goals, let's say you are even open to some real risk, what are the things that you see that should make you go like, I'm not putting my money in that? What should you see and run when it comes to investment opportunities? When they tell you that, see, it's not a government security, but don't worry, the funds are guaranteed. There's no risk. 100% guaranteed. They use it like that. Websites, everything. The website is wonderful. Everything, charts and how you are. In fact, there are testimonials. People going like, man, I got 500% of my money in 1 week. So, promise of riskless return. Aside from the government security, if you come with a business idea to me now and you tell me that it is 100% guaranteed, I'll say, Olenye. That will be my response. I'll say, Olenye. There's risk. You can't tell me there's no risk. If there's no risk, that means it's a scam. When I was working in GoldLink insurance, it's on record. Okay, anyhow. There was a particular one that was popular then. It was OBO funds. OBO funds. Even from the name already, I'm like, I'm not doing. But for some reason, it took a hold. This was before MMM, remember? It was around 2014, 2015, before MMM. OBOfunds.com. Everybody in the company was doing it. Some people were already projecting how their future would be so wonderful. At this rate, I can retire in 2 years. If I retire in 2 years, money will just be coming. I won't even work. I can go to Dubai. And as in, I think the catch then was 40% every day. I kid you not. Put your money now, 40% interest every day. Not annual. Not annual interest that you now. 40% every day. And people tried it and it was working. Are you with me? People tried it. People put money. People put, okay, let me start with 10,000. Let me see what will happen. They checked it the next day and it was 14K that was there on the account. Sir? Omega Pro. I don't know too much about that one. Is that not more like MLM? What is multi-level? Okay. I know there are many. In fact, because of that OBO funds experience, I'll finish the story. But after that, I found a site where people that knew that these things were scams, they were tracking them. So they are scams, but the way it works is a Ponzi scheme. So it will pay for a while to attract people. It fed on greed and testimonials. Mix those two things together and you can make a whole lot of scam money. People were greedy. They wanted returns out of nothing. All they needed to just hear was that somebody has tried it and it is paying. So imagine I come with, maybe I have 1 million naira I'm not using. I start advertising my own. Bring 10K. I will double it for you in 1 week. No questions asked. 100% guaranteed. Somebody tries it and I double it for the person. The person asks to withdraw. Let me even see if I can withdraw. I give them the 20K. No, I have 1 million naira to invest in my scam. 20K, boom. See money. I even withdrew it from the ATM. It came out. It's 20K. 10K was what I paid. I got 20K. Let me put the 20K back. Let me see if I'll get 40K next week. They get 40K next week again. No. There's a level that we normally reach where you are the one that finds gold. You go through a roller coaster of emotions. You first of all find it. Sometimes you try to hold it for yourself. But later you'll be like, no, this is too good. I have to share. You start calling people. You've already taken all your own that you get, but now you want to get more people. You want them to know that you are the one that showed them where gold is. People start telling people, Omo, 10K movie parent. You won't believe how much I have in the account now. I'm not even withdrawing again. I'm leaving it there. It's just me growing. I'm like, and you withdrew it and it came out there. You get. That one too goes 10K. And that's it, become 10K. After a while, it's not even my own 1 million initial money that I'm using to pay people that are withdrawing anymore. It is new people that are coming to invest. Everybody that is coming is hearing that they are actually paying, they are seeing. Somebody will take, see, come with me to the ATM. I will show you the money. See the money. It came out. It's true, they are paying. Somebody that has sense goes like, this thing is a scam. It is going to scatter one time. At the end of the day, if you are the one that it's your money that is there, what do you mean? They paid this person. But they paid Michael. But they paid Sharon. They paid Cassandra. They paid Bodo. Why shouldn't they pay me? Are we together? They paid all these people. And you are telling me it's a scam. It's like you are the one that the devil sent. This is I'm saying it actually happened to me in the sense that I was the one that the devil sent to be telling people that this thing is a scam. Someone stopped talking to me at the office. One person told me, no, Mayo, come and look at their website. They wrote it here, 100% guaranteed. I'm like, are you okay? How do you think they create websites? I told the person, because I know small HTML. I told the person, I can create a website for you right now, and I'll write anything there. You are telling me you believe it once you see it on the website. Long story short, when they stopped paying, the realization was coming over people in stages. First of all, there was a guy that was like, I need money for one. Make I go withdraw small out of the money. He wasn't even going to withdraw everything, just small. And so the site don't go. The site was still there. The place where you withdraw, like error, you get that kind of like, try again, once more. He came back the next day, he tried. At first, they'll keep it to themselves. You see that person that the devil sent, they will avoid the person first. They will see me coming from down the hall, they will enter another office. As if I'm the one that. You understand? They took on the risk of something that was just fake to begin with. People lost money. I know someone that took money from microfinance, took a loan from microfinance. There are different levels of people. I know someone that was investing their salary. That's the person that I said was going like, I'm going to retire in 2 years at this rate. Every single kobo of their salary was going into it. Forget compound effect of the one that was already there. They were adding more. They were paying into it. Every single money that they got. Somebody went to go and borrow money from a microfinance bank and put inside there. Now these microfinance banks, they don't have sense. How much is their own rate? 20, 30, 40% per annum. This thing is paying me 40% per day. People don't have sense. I collect their money and use it to do good business. Put everything there. People lost money that they didn't even have. It was a gloomy time at the office then. And I was, okay, they couldn't call me the bad guy, but they were attaching me to it. Like, maybe it's this guy that went to go and report us or something. You get? You understand? The red flags were all over the place, but because of greed and testimonials of other people. So those people left with the money. When you're running such a scam, once you say, see all the money, you know what, it's time to close this thing. They close it and they move. Online investment, you don't even know which office you're going to go and fight. I'll move on. So like I said, red flags, no clear indication of how the returns are generated. What are they doing with this money that they're asking you for? What are they going to invest it in? Is it gold that they are buying and selling? Is it forex? Are they even telling you how they are going to do it? They just said, bring money, don't worry, we'll turn it into double for you. Of course, if it is too good to be true, it usually is. Then there's the MLM side of things, multi-level marketing. People will argue with you about this. Multi-level marketing is actually a tool. It's a type of marketing that businesses employ to push their products. But if you have that in addition to like an investment, I'm investing money with you, you're telling me that in order to activate, I have to go and bring other people in. Just wait. It's getting complicated. I advise you just slow down on that investment. Then I mentioned testimonials also. Okay, so I just have a slide here that just gives you an idea of somebody who has processed all this information and has now built like a small investment portfolio. These, as you see, it just a few rows on the table like that. They're actually rules that one can abide by that have a real connection to your own goals when it comes to investment. You get, I can decide that, okay, out of money that I have that I'm investing, I'm going to put 25%, between 20 and 30 in a risk-free investment like FGN savings bonds. I'm going to take a bit more risk with mutual funds with, let's say, 20 something percent also, and so on. The stock market, let me take on some risk with 50% of that portfolio. That one now, I classify the person, this person has some appetite for risk, and so on. You can build your own portfolio based on what you feel is okay for your investment goals. All right, so parting words, we don't grow old. When we cease to grow, we become old. Thank you very much. Questions?
Thank you. We have room for some questions. Any questions? Or you are overfed? Or you felt that he was going to come and teach us how to make the money on the street?
They thought I was going to come and share dollars.
And he did not do that. So that when we are doing series 2, we can restructure his performance a little bit. Any questions?
Thank you, Maya. I just want to say, when you were talking, for me, I always try to put it to the lowest level of information so I can see how I can make use of it. For example, if you're talking, the way you spoke on are very good and very fantastic. But let's say somebody who is into fashion or all this small business, maybe I'm selling chips, all this, everybody just trying to come up. And then the rate at which they get the money frequently is not there. Let's say monthly salary. You can plan at the end of the month, okay, I'll be putting 250K in this thing, I'll put 300 here and I'll spend the rest. Okay. So I just want to say that maybe some very long time ago when I started my own kind of investment, I started with piggy bank kind of thing before old days of treasury bills and all of those, where if you download, for me, I've tried piggy bank. I'm not selling them, I'm not their staff, but I just say that people can also research for other things where you can download it and maybe monthly, you always have like 100 naira in your account, and you know that if they take 100 naira daily from my account, I'll still have much. Maybe I'll still have a little to buy card, do data and all of that. So by the time they start deducting 100 naira from my account every day, so at the end of the month, in another 3 months, I will have like maybe 6,000 or 5,000 or something. So piggy bank will now bring, there's another arm for investment. Bank bank but vest ne apprehension. So they've upgraded it to piggy vest. So they will now bring out. So one day I just saw that there's another arm under my app. When I was searching it, that there's investment. I can invest in rice. I can buy a portion in rice. I can invest in transportation or anything. So I now started buying that small portion of 5K. They always bring it to the lowest, where you can buy 1 unit for 5,000 naira. So you can now buy 5,000. I'll put it for 3 months. They'll give me tertiary money, So later, it started growing bigger and all of that. So it's just a suggestion to say that if there's anyone here who is just thinking like, this plenty money until I start working. That's when I'll start doing it. You can start saving like piggy bank, big colo, 100 naira from your account onto 200. When the investment comes out, you will buy. There are also resellers too, who you can buy from. Everything is safe. And then from there, you can start making money and start doing small things. Thank you
very much. That's actually, it's like a summary of the actual idea that gave birth to the session. The idea is, regardless of how much you think you have available, there's an instrument that you can use. Like she has said, there are many of these apps. You get the PiggyVest, there are plenty. There's Branch, there's Carbon. Some of them that even do loans, they also have the investment side of things. Some of them will even give you not just the savings side, they will also give you investment, like she said, where they will give you maybe like there are 20,000 units available. You can buy some of those units. They are investing that particular thing. That means somebody wants to run a business somewhere. They need money. You get. So what we're just saying is understand the level of risk involved. Do your research. Like she said, we can't, even the Meristem and all them that I mentioned earlier. I am not their ambassador, not speaking for them, I'm not recommending them. but you can always find some of them that you can use that you're comfortable with.
Okay, thank you. So there are some people that they are just not used to saving. It's not as if they don't have, but it's not in their habit to save. As in, they don't see what you are talking about is not even. You are not saying you are not talking to them. So what do you want to say to those kind of people? It's not as if they don't have that money. They have the money, but they are not in the habit of saving. And we are talking about retirement plan now. You see some elderly people on the road, and you'll be imagining that is it that they don't have children, or is it that they didn't work when they were much younger or something? So people that don't have the habit of saving, what do you have to say to them?
Thank you very much. It was the reason why I painted a picture of the retirement. You understand? I'm fully aware that there are people that go like, why should I save? We keep talking about the save. Why? And until one personalizes the need to save, until you see it as a problem, it's not a problem that is knocking on your head right now, but it's a problem, it's a future problem. Until you see it within that ramification, you won't understand why we keep saying save. If you keep in the mindset of spending all that you get now, you believe that anything that drops after taxes and everything that drops into your account is for you to eat now, you are going to have a problem later. It's no different from any other thing that they advise you to do. Me now, they've been advising me, exercise more. There's a reason for it. And I'm trying. You understand? But it's not easy. But at least I understand that this is the reason why they're telling me to exercise. So it's a very cogent contribution. You need to personalize it. I'm not sure there's much that anybody can say externally to force you to save. Nobody can force you to save. And it's a tough thing to do. Money in your hand right now, and the soft life beckoning onto you. You understand? You get, but that's why I painted the picture of think of your future self as you, not just as somebody else that faces no problems on his own or her own. Your future self is you. How will you feel when you now get to an age and there's no more money? They've told you it's time to retire. You get. You are telling no, I'm still strong. I can still walk. I can do it. I can carry it. You're like, no, Baba, Mama, everyone don't see me. We have younger people that we've hired for the work now. It's time for you to go. That means there's no income anymore. You now be calling your children. Well, I mean, it's a strategy. There are some people that their children is their investment strategy. It's not advisable, but that's what some people opt for. But when that's your strategy and you now call your child, mommy, now we are saying while you are young, you can start to make sure that's not the case. That's the basic idea that we're trying to pass. You can start to work towards it to make sure that's not the case. See the money you earn now as being not just for your present self, but also for your future self. Partition it. Know the one that is for your present self, your present poker, and the one that is for your future self, so that you don't have to start having awkward phone calls with children who are also going through their own issues. Okay. I was thinking insurance separate, but I can mention life insurance. Life insurance is a different ballgame. If we first of all talk about insurance, first of all, the response I normally get, insurance, scam, only, and when for nothing. The ones that want to collect money and they will help you turn it into, they will give you 10% on top, and insurance, they just collect your money and just go. That's the idea that people have with insurance. When you want to collect claim, they will not be giving you stories. Insurance is not like that anymore. I work in an insurance company, I have for a while. It's not like that anymore. An insurance company can't just say with no reason. Because understand that there are also people that are looking to play the insurance industry with insurance fraud, right? But there's a regulator that arbitrates in their middle and makes sure that the insurance company pays what they need to pay. And insurance companies, they pay. You see some of the claims statements, you see what they're paying. So the way life insurance, for example, works is there are all sorts of products. There are many products that you can tap into. The basic one, the most basic one is like term insurance, where you say, okay, I'm going to be paying this insurance company a premium of say 5,000 every year. If I die within any of those years, you see why insurance is hard to talk about. Also die in this and you say, hey, anybody here? Yeah. Go for it. Go for it. Insurance is very hard to talk about, especially in the church. But that's the way it works. If I pay the premium of 5,000 naira, for example, and my agreement with the insurance company is that if I should die within this year, you are going to pay my beneficiary, whom I would have listed, if his child, or if his wife, if his sister, if his mother, you are going to pay my beneficiary 5 million for the sake of this discussion. That's the way insurance works. Insurance is something you do out of love, especially life insurance, out of love that you have for the people that are depending on you for finance. Children, spouse, same thing. So there are all sorts that you can now package into education insurance. There are targeted savings. They also do investment type of insurance where you'll be paying a premium. They'll be accumulating it for you at a particular interest rate to a particular time. If you survive to that time, they pay you that full maturity. If you die before that time, they pay you that same full maturity. Let me paint that picture for you. You might not have understood what I just said. Let's assume you are paying 10,000 naira monthly. For the sake of this discussion, let's say that particular policy, I'm trying to describe it like an education target policy now. 3 years is what you want to do for simplicity. You want to pay 10,000 monthly. That's in 1 year you are paying, what's that, 120k. At the end of the third year, once you pay everything the way you're supposed to pay it, you will get, if I multiply it just like that, it's like 360k. Then you get 400 because of the interest. Right? That's the example. Now, if you survive to the end of the 3 years and you have paid your premium every month like that, you get 400k. That's the agreement. The reason why it's structured like that is because you picture that in 3 years' time I'm going to pay school fees of 400k. So I'll be paying this 10,000 monthly. If you just add the 10,000 monthly, it's 360 all throughout that you pay. But because of interest, 400. Just for the sake of discussion, that rate is not as it would be. But should you die during that period, let's say after 1 year, you've paid 10k for 1 year, 120k is what you've paid. Should you die, the insurance company will pay your beneficiary 400k. Are we together? That's an endowment. Does that sound like it's something valuable? How many people don't know? And it's available for anyone to tap into. Now there was a presentation that you had that had your husband make for us then, insurance. Those are some of the policies they were talking about then. Yes. Yes. These are things that are available for any and every one of us. But you understand the kind of frame of mind you have to be in to be thinking of what will happen after you have died. Not many of us even think like that. Once I'm dead, whoever is left should take care of himself. I'm telling you. You understand? But that's the power of insurance. Some people have used it to build generational wealth. Imagine somebody paying premium of just maybe 100k and they die unexpectedly before they are even able to accumulate. The insurance plan is trying to help you to accumulate maybe up to 10 million or 50 million or 100 million. But you've paid only 100k so far. Death occurs. Insurance company pays your beneficiary 100 million. That's the power of insurance. You get. The way the insurance company makes their own money is the pool of funds. Some people will live beyond the time that they are expected to live. Some people will not live up to. So then they are playing a balancing game. They are the ones gambling to see, okay, will it pay us, will it not pay us? That's the way insurance makes their own money. But that pool of funds. So the idea is, imagine 1,000 people come together. Each one of them drops 1,000 naira. That's how much? That's 1 million. The pool, right? Now the agreement is that if one person dies, maybe over 1 year in that pool, they'll pay the person 500k. All of them pay 1,000 naira. If I die, they'll pay my beneficiary 500K. That's a good deal. But all of them in the pool, like 1,000 of them, they dropped to 1,000. 1 million is what the insurer collected. Are you seeing the mathematics involved? And in fact, the probability is like it's just one in that 1,000 that will die. That's what the insurer is banking on. Of course, it can go, you get south for the insurer. At the same time, it's possible nobody will even die. But the problem with people that want to buy insurance is that they're like, I paid 1K, I didn't die. Will they give my 1K back? Are we together? But this is giving you an idea of some other things. Insurance is a very powerful one. There are many different types.
Right.
Life insurance is one category. There's non-life insurance where you insure your car, you insure your phone, and so on. We can talk about it for days.
I remember
You understand? You get-
there was a
there's
time
Ebola.
Auntie
So,
Biola was saying
yeah.
that obesity can insure life. That your obesity can insure life. All right.
So that's it for life insurance, really. We can talk about it in more detail later. There are different types.
So our financial intelligence series 2 will be in insurance. Do we agree? And we'll have it in February. Is it okay by you for us to have it in February? House, speak now. All right, so Maiwa, afterwards, we'll plan how to do that. So, can we say a big thank you to Maiwa?
Thanks for having me.
All right, please let's be seated. One of the reasons why I wanted us to say thank you to him was that he approached us personally to say, can I talk to the choir about financial things? Hey, nice, Rara. So why am I saying that? So you see something that maybe we should be doing and we're not doing. Scale it up. Once we feel that, it's going to work for the choir, we'll take it up. Now, all said and done, everything that Maiwa has said is centered on one word: sacrifice. Not blood sacrifice, but self-sacrifice. Let me give you an example. You've been earning 500,000 before. They now increase your salary to 600,000. And so because you now earn 600,000, you're a big boy. Why not take that 100,000 out and continue spending 500,000? Yes, your demand will increase. But the thing is because that you feel that you have people around you, and also you feel that you have become big. And so the television that there was nothing wrong with in your house, so that when Titi comes to my house, Titi will know that I've blown. And I'll change my TV. Titi doesn't care what size of TV she watches when she comes to your house. That's even if she ends up watching TV when she comes to your house. You might just be talking. When she comes, it is that time that you know that you want to buy a bigger size generator that needs more fuel. That the fuel price is now 260 at Bikinikon. That we're buying. So you see, as you feel that your increment has come, your sense has to increase with that. Now, I saw some of us sitting down as students and saying, I'm just a student. Where am I going to get this money from? You people, I have an experience with students in my house. Because they will collect from A, B, C, D, E. I tell my son, I say, you are never broke, I know. Because I know I can count 3 or 4 streams that you will have. So by the time you are coming to me, it's just because you feel that I haven't heard from this woman in a while. How far? It's that time. It's always, I only have 1K left in my account. Use that 1K. When you finish, I'll send you money. Do you understand? So students, even if it's 1K that you take out, they've done all the mathematics for us. So I'm sure nobody here, I don't expect anybody here to have left this place or to leave this place today and to say, I have nothing to invest. Or I have nothing to save. You must have something. There must be something. If there's not, go and think about it today. And I know that God will help us in Jesus' name. My prayer for this choir, I was telling God one day, I said, Fola don't we wanted to change, I think, the musical instrument or something. We wanted to do something. And I said, Basima Belon Abodalekon was about 5 million. how much is 5 million? That 5 of us cannot stand up. And we'll say, don't mention our names. Titi comes to embarrass us when she comes to ask us money. She will now be facing choir. She will not face church for Excellence Project. That choir, I know that you people. Now, I know that we have the capacity to do it. But because we don't think we have, or we haven't been awakened to the fact that we have capacity to be more than what we are today. But I'm challenging you. I'm challenging you today that go through this route and December 2023, come and look back and see. A lot of you saw the videos of the person T, Asho Ebi, that by the time she counted was like 3 million. When I said that thing, somebody said to me, definitely Asho Ebi, 10 years, and can you imagine the thinking of people? Pay any year, be 30,000. Pay me only 2.5 ni mara. Nisin, ó dà pé owó wa náà fi ń ṣe party. Owó wa. Yeah, but that is it. Hello, is it my money that you should use? Ìgbà tó mọ̀ gbọ́ tó bá ti ṣe. Hello, one house, everybody. Now, somebody started that cycle that let them buy and use it. I remember there was something that I gave my mom one year. I think it was in material, so we bought it for her as Christmas gift, her kids. 2 months after, somebody wanted to do a party, and the person is in this church. They sold that material at 5 times the price I bought it. And I bought from a shop. They will have gone to wholesale to get it. So already, shop yẹn ti gba èrè lára tèmi ní cost tí mo fi rà. Abọ̀sibọ́sí àwọn tó lọ rà in bulk. So somebody started that trend of let us use their money to do party. That's taking trend. And you and I are falling into that pit. Remember, the party that you go to, that you don't buy Ashwe before, they will not pata one for a souvenir. And you will go to your house. One if I also rice for Madam, listen, I'm not so put about philosophy party So please, it's a function of structural adjustment program. So you have to structurally, one house, everybody. You have to intentionally restructure your mind. Aṣọ tó bá rà lẹ́ni, aṣọ yẹn títí bá ṣe tó bá pé títí ló ṣe party yẹn tí mo ra aṣọ. Let me even use Iyabo because they're sisters. Tí Iyabo bá ṣe party, ṣé mo pé mi nílé wọṣọ yẹn lọ síbẹ̀. Because mama rò kọ́ mi pé tí mama fi lọ sí party tí Iyabo ṣe yẹn wọ́n sọ pé mi ò lówó lọ́wọ́, aṣọ yẹn kan ni mo ní. Meanwhile, Iyabo will she care whether it's aṣọ yẹn lówó or not? She just wants people. That's why she has invited you. She wants her friends, her people around her. But you have come there with a guilty mind. Digest. So you see how we follow so many trends, and in the long run we lose it. I pray that God will help us in Jesus' name. I know that we have taken your time. I'm so sorry. But I just felt that, this was something that we needed to do. And please just help me say thank you to the ESCOs as well for allowing it happen. I'm very, very grateful. Yes, my wife will send the slides. We'll send it to we should actually pay him for the slides. But he will send it to us. We'll put it to the platform. So next week, hello, one house, everybody. Next week, we have emotional intelligence. So we are going in a top notch to another realm. Okay? And we will move on from there. You see that we don't have rehearsal today. I looked at the program. For those of us that are streaming, thank you. Those of us that watch online, thank you. God bless you. This is where we end the stream. We pray that you use the wisdom and you run with it in Jesus' name. God bless you. So the only song in the program that's a little bit difficult. It's the Vesper, and it's something we know. Loni ni Jesu mpe ashakowa da 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 da. So part heads, please go and look for those notes, put them back in, and God will help us in Jesus' name. Shall we pray? Let's rise to pray. So, what I want you to pray about is, you know, when God opens your eyes to certain things, there's a difference. God can open and you can choose not to use what He has opened your eyes to. So just ask God, that which you've given us the grace to learn today, help me to use it wisely. Maybe I've been using it, and there's other things that you want to still open my mind to. Help me to have my mind open to it. Tell God, just help me in the little that I have.